Hey guys, hope you're doing well today. If you see a dog running around in the video, that is my foster dog Daisy, and she might look like a newer dog, you might not recognize her, but she is our foster dog and she is available for adoption. But anyway, this is going to be my fourth Pan That Palette update. I decided to start my Pan That Palette 2019 a little bit early because I just wanted to. I wanted to get some good progress on the products, and I actually think I'll be finishing my one palette very, very soon, and I'm super excited about that. And then I will probably incorporate another palette into my Pan That Palette 2019, maybe in a couple months. I was working on 3 palettes, and then I decided to depot the one blush from my little face palette that I had in here just because it was easily able to pop out, and I just threw it into my Z palette, and that is the other palette that I'm panning, and I just have a couple of things in here. And then I also have my Tarte Make Believe in Yourself eyeshadow palette, so technically it's only 2 palettes right now, but I was working on 3. I just depotted the one product. First, I want to talk about my Z palette from Sephora, and I'll insert a picture of what this looked like in the previous update. And here's what the palette looks like now. So as you can see, there is some changes, and I did declutter the yellow eyeshadow from Colourpop in this previous update. I just wasn't using it, and it didn't really add anything to my look, so I just decided to declutter it, and I will mention it in my future makeup declutter video that I haven't filmed yet. And then my goal was to expand the pan on this orange shade. I believe this is GNO, and this is from the Colourpop Yes Please palette. I slightly expanded the pan, but honestly not by much, so I will try to work on this more in my next update. And then I also hit my goal on the blush, and I wanted to use up the top half right here, and I did. I had a little bit on the sides here, and I'm happy that I was able to use up half of the product. I have worn the blush by itself a decent amount this month, but I've actually made a Franken blush several times throughout the month. Here's what my current one looks like. It is a bit of a mess right now. So there's only a little bit, and I try to only make maybe about a week's worth of product because I like to change it up and maybe add some more shimmer to it. I have some Jaclyn Hill and Morphe eyeshadows mixed with the blush right here. So I did swatch out my Franken blush and then the original Tarte blush. This is my Franken blush, and as you can see, it's a little bit lighter than my Tarte blush, and I did, like I said, mix some eyeshadows in it to make it a little bit lighter and shimmerier. So this has more of a shimmer finish, and then this is the Tarte blush, and this actually has more of a matte finish, and it is a little bit deeper. I've been having so much fun making Franken products. I've also made a Franken bronzer and also a Franken eyeshadow, which I will show when I talk about my Tarte Make Believe in Yourself eyeshadow palette. So anyway, I think for my goals for the next month, I do want to try to expand the pan a little bit on this orange shade, and then as for the blush, I think I just want to use up maybe about half of what I have in here. And now onto the more exciting palette in my opinion, and that is my Tarte Make Believe in Yourself eyeshadow palette, and I made a ton of progress on this month. I'll insert a picture of what this looked like in my previous update. And here's what my palette looks like now. So there's been a lot of changes to this palette, and there's only 3 eyeshadows left. In the last month, I had finished Myth, which was this beautiful pinky brown, and it was a matte color. It was the only matte in the palette. I also finished Marvel, which was a metallic lime green color. I loved that shade. It was my favorite color in the palette. I also finished Fairy, which was a metallic purple. And it was actually my goals to finish those shadows in the last month, so I'm really excited about that. And you also might notice that the shade Wings is gone, and this was a metallic copper shade that I'd actually hit pan on at last update. I crushed this shadow out of the palette because it was really weird. I mentioned in that update that the formula was not the best on that one, and it actually would flake off my eyelids. When I wore it on Thanksgiving, it like wore off because it made my eyes water, and then it also flaked off the second time I wore it. So I hit pan on it. I'm done with it. I did not want to deal with finishing that up because it would just flake off my eyes and would be a pain. And it was just annoying to work with. It was a beautiful shade, but it was not worth the hassle, so I did crush it out of the palette. And then I also hit major pan on Crystal in the last update. There's really not a ton left here. This is a kind of like taupey gold shade. It is a pretty shade. It does kind of change colors with different bases and crease colors that you use. And I also hit pan on Dream, which is a teal shade, and I hit side pan on the shade Mystic, which was a periwinkle color. So I think I made some really good progress in the last month. I did these shadows a lot by themselves throughout the month, but what really helped me get through them is that I would be making Franken eyeshadows as well. I made a purpley one, but the main one I've been making is this beautiful green shade right here, and I love it. And it doesn't have a ton of product to use in it, maybe like 2 days worth, but it is a beautiful metallic green shade. It's actually very similar to Marvel from this palette, and that was my favorite color, so I'm really happy I was able to make a color very similar. And it is so pretty. So that is the color I made. It's a beautiful green, and it's very metallic. And I actually was able to mix all three of these colors that I have left in here. Crystal, the gold, and then these two blues. I think it really helped it make it super metallic, especially including this Mystic shade right here. And I also made a version that was a little bit more blue-green than this, and it was also gorgeous as well. I also mixed a lime green and then a bright yellow shade from the BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette. I've made it around 4 times, and I do like these blues in this palette. I like them both individually and by themselves, but I do wear green eyeshadow to work sometimes, and I think that's easier to wear than a blue in my opinion. I don't know why my mind thinks that, but that's how I'm thinking, and it's also been helping me get through this product so much more. It's been fun to experiment. Like I said, I've also made a Franken Blush, a Franken Bronzer, and it's just been really cool to play makeup scientist and mix different colors. So now I want to talk about goals for my Tarte palette in the next month. I would love to finish Crystal, which I think I'll actually be able to finish this week if I just wear it on pretty much every day. I wanted to use up half of what's left in Mystic, and then I also wanted to try to use half of what's left in Dream as well. So those are my goals for this palette for my next month. I actually think I'll be able to finish by the end of February, which is super exciting. So that is the end of my Pan That Palette update. I believe it's number 4, and I didn't actually take any pictures of looks because I just had such a limited amount of colors left, and I didn't always wear the colors together. A lot of the times I paired different mattes and crease shades into my looks that were from different palettes other than the ones I used here for my Pan That palette. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and also please enter my giveaway. I'm having a giveaway on my Instagram right now, and it is ending on January 31st. I'm giving away a Too Faced palette and some CoverGirl products, and I think you guys would really enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Talk to you later.